What is up, everybody? JT Best Ball here. Welcome in. It's the nightcap. You know, that's what we do. We come on at 10 o'clock. We draft best ball. We talk. We have a good time. Man, do we have something to look forward to next week or what? Camp will be officially here, and we got a small little taste of what news can do today. We get a little news that Najee's eye exploded from some fireworks. We don't know how bad it is. The team is saying he is going to be just fine for training camp. He'll be fine for training camp. But just that little what if has people all worked up over drafting Rocket Sanders. It's got me wondering if Vidal will be resurrected. I know y'all were drafting some Vidal last year. This guy was, I'm not going to lie. Let's see what else we have out there today. It was an interesting day. We have a Twitter doctor talking about Rashee Rice is favoring his knee when he's doing cuts. Some video floating around Twitter where he seemed to be, cutting okay. And this guy, so I guess he's a self-proclaimed Twitter doctor, says no, you could tell he's favoring his knee. It's just getting started. We're not even in camp yet. And we got Twitter doctors commenting on the way Rashee Rice is cutting. We got Najee's eye, maybe or maybe not, exploded. I don't know. Chargers seem to think it's okay. It's not going to be a big deal. We'll see. But we're days away. Just got to make it through the weekend. Next week, we will have camp. Just like tonight, we will have puppy. See you guys on the other side. We'll draft some puppies.
I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day. I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no, I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say,
what is up, everybody? What is up? In just a minute here, we're going to hop into a puppy. If anybody would like to hop in it with me, I want to get a lot of puppies in. I don't know if I'll have time to max it. My thing is always time. I don't ever have enough time to draft. I can't have more than maybe 10 to 15 slow drafts going at one time. Just me, my preference. This is fun. We do this because it's fun. If I have more than about 14 or 15 slow drafts going, it's just not fun to me anymore on that side of it. So I try to get in as many live drafts as I can. Won't be able to draft the next 2 nights at all. Or the next 2 days period at all. So we're going to do 2 for sure tonight. We'll see. You guys smash that like button. You guys show me some love. Maybe we'll do 3 tonight. What's up, Chris? Good to see you stopping by. What's up, Dirty P? You're here almost every night. We appreciate it. Mark, same with you. LFG, let's go. Going to go ahead and hop in the puppy. We'll do it like we've been doing it on the time thing right at 10:05. When the clock switches to 10:05, we will hit the final confirm, which is now. 4 spots left. Go ahead and hop in if you want to draft a puppy. But, I started my intro saying, it's coming, guys. It is coming. Like there was Twitter doctors on Twitter today diagnosing Rice's knee is still hurting. The whole Najee eye thing. I thought it was kind of hilarious. The team is saying he's fine. He's fine. It filled quick. These puppies have been filling super quick. The contest itself has been filling up really quickly. I think it's already getting close to like 20% full, I saw. Let's see. Do we recognize any friendly faces in here? We do not, but that's fine. Sometimes it's nice to not draft with you guys because you guys know who I like. You guys are good drafters and on a lot of the same people that we are on. We got the 101. We're not doing any of that craziness. I saw Henry go at the 101 today. Somebody else was telling me they saw something crazy at the 101. We're going to keep with Ja'Marr Chase. We're only at 7%. We need to get that up a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how we play it. I've been trying to play around with this here little tool a little more. See some of my highest percentages with Ja'Marr. I have I keep now y'all know y'all have heard me say on streams before that I don't take Burrow. I try to, push him to the 6-7 turn. If I can get him there or whatever, then I'll get him. And so my backup plan is to kind of sometimes take Wilson and then take Fields. You guys, if you tuned into me and Candyman and Hartman stream, you guys know Justin Fields is one of my top 3 guys, period. I think we're going to chill out on this particular build. We already have 83% of our Ja'Marr Chase teams is going to be reliant on Fields. Also, Omarion Hampton and Judkins kind of pop out. I want to start using this tool a little bit more with some of those top guys, I think, because we can fall into traps, right? Like that makes sense. Judkins always goes over here somewhere around pick 90-ish, 96. You can get him sometimes. Hampton, today he'll probably go up because everybody's worried about Najee. But a lot of times you could get him right there at the 4 or 5 turn. You can get Fields, if you take him a little early right here at 97. So it kind of makes sense why those percentages would be the way that they are. But that said, we don't want to end up with, all of our Ja'Marr Chase teams reliant on a couple particular players who don't even, correlate really with Chase, right? Yeah, that's good. Let him fall back there. I mean, I don't hate Rice as a player. Like I'll take him in round 3. I keep telling y'all I've been pulling Lamar up all the time in different spots in round 3 because there's not a whole lot of round 3 players I like. No big deal, Dirty P. No big deal. Thanks for stopping by, man. We know you can't catch everything. You're in here a lot though, and we do appreciate it. We're gonna draft a few puppies tonight. Not sure 2 or 3 yet. We'll see how it goes. Let's see what we want to do at the turn here. You know who I noticed I do not have yet with Chase? See, we can even search by player name. I have not pulled my boy Lamar up with Chase. We'll see who's there. I mean, I'm not going to pass up, 2 guys that I really, really love. No way I get Bowers and JT at the 2-3 turn, right? I mean, just no way. Come on, David, make my night. Grab Higgins. Oh, I didn't think so. We can do Bowers though. I mean, that's far for Bowers to come all the way back to the 1-2 turn like that. You know what? Let's get funny. Let's take Bowers. Let's take Higgins. You know what? We can do the Higgins. We can do the Higgins thing anytime. Let's go ahead and do it. Let's get a real just crazy build going, guys. Lamar, Ja'Marr, and Bowers. Could we possibly have the QB 1, the wide receiver 1, and the tight end 1 all on the same team? I think it's very possible with this team. I really do. It is definitely out there as an option. That's right. That was you that was telling me you saw something different. Puka at the 1-1. We're not doing that. We're going to take Chase. We want as much Chase as we can get. We just want to get him with a bunch of different combos. Yeah, let's get different. Somebody told me I'm supposed to try different things in the puppy. So we're going to try some different things. What's up, Hardman? We're just out here trying some different things in the puppy, putting the QB1, the tight end 1, and the wide receiver 1 all on the same team. Good to see you stop in, my man. Everyone else is doing crazy things. So I saw a screenshot on Twitter of Henry going at the 1-1. Mark said that he saw Puka go at the 1-1 today. People are out there puppying. That is for sure. All right, I think we can turn this little tool off until the next draft. I hadn't used it at all really live drafting because I just don't like the way it looks down there at the bottom. Kind of annoys me. But then over the last 2 or 3 days, I was really diving in playing with that tool some, like not during drafts necessarily, but like, on teams that were already drafted. And I'm finding I do like that little player combination tool more and more. We'll see what comes back around to us. Maybe we make it a 0 RB team. Maybe we take an RB. Just have to see. Also interested to see where Omari and Hampton goes. Because his major competition may or may not have gotten his eye blown off, it sounds like. Nobody has taken Jalen yet either. Interesting. Let's see. Did we have anything crazy going on? Neighbors at the 12. No crazy pull-ups in round 1. Everything for the most part in this draft is looking pretty smooth. Pretty normal-ish. I'm surprised they're about to say there Jaden went. Nobody wanted Jaden. Even the Terry McLaurin drafter, like he took Terry McLaurin there and then passed on the stack to get Evans. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. Let's see. What do we want to do? There is a bunch of receivers on the board. We're going to be picking at 48 and 49. I think Pickens is going to be one of them. Do we want to reach down and grab a running back? Don't think we want to yet. Could go with Devontae. Let's go with Courtland Sutton if I can get him in quick enough. No, couldn't get him in quick enough. That's okay. We like Devontae Smith too. Jamar Chase, George Pickens, Devontae Smith. Add in a little firepower to the receiver room. To go with Bowers. To go with Lamar. Got to have those receivers. You just can't make up for receiver firepower like you can running back late. Yeah, it takes some luck. You need some things to break your way. You need some injuries sometimes to happen. But With running back, when it happens, you could have a starter who's actually very usable and getting starter reps, getting starter work. Dallas Goedert from the Eagles is a good example of why I try to get a lot of my wide receiver firepower early, even on a double RB build where I took 2 running backs in the first 3 rounds or something. I'll tend to, maybe push tight end a little bit, maybe wait a little while on quarterback. Still got to get that wide receiver firepower because the Eagles last year, Dallas Goedert had one particular huge blow up game. It was a game where I forget who it was, Smith or Brown. One of the receivers was out, and it was not whatever receiver took his place in the lineup. Sure, there was some receiver that ran a lot more routes and played a lot more snaps than he normally plays because one of the Eagles' big 2 receivers was out. But he didn't get the ball. They just threw it to the normal receiver that was still there. And Dallas Goedert had like 11 catches for whatever amount of yards it was. Teams typically, when a pass catcher is out, those receptions and that work generally tends to just increase for the guys who were already big parts of the passing game, and their workload, their receptions, their target share just tend to go up. Whereas running backs, when Joe Mixon is out, whoever is in there for the Texans, whoever it is that gets put in there, he's getting to work. If Saquon gets hurt and Shipley really is the true number 2, like me and a lot of people think he is, he's probably getting 18, 19 carries and maybe a few catches. What he does with those, we'll see, but they do have a good offensive line. And the opportunity will be there for a big game because he will get the work. All right, let's see what we want to do here. We need to get in the running back room. We may go Smith. Let's go Smith. Let's go Pacheco and Smith. Let's just double tap running back here. I'm starting to warm up a little bit on Pacheco. I keep telling myself that I was going to wait until camp starts. But I don't know. I feel like if we get really good reports in camp, he's going to get a little more expensive. And I only have literally 1% of the guy right now. It has been long enough, from his injury that he could be just back to the normal old Pacheco. And we'll have a lot of running backs too. So even if he starts off a little slow. Too many of my teams last year, I felt like I really handcuffed myself needing to really, really, really get lucky on too many of my teams with some things breaking right in the running back room just to have guys that were usable and had good workloads. So while I still like all of those late round running backs, like in the talk I was just talking about, and the reasoning why, this year we're trying to make sure that we also do a better job of just having, workloads that we can count on to get us there. We'll still have some of those later round guys that we could get really lucky with. But we got to get to the point to where if that happens on a particular team, we're already one of the top 2 teams or we're in the playoffs and we can take advantage of it properly. Thanks, Chris. I'm glad you like the start, my man. You guys know who he is. I don't need to tell y'all, but if you don't, Go check out the Fantasy Garage. He's on most nights around 9 o'clock Central Time. I think I dislike BBM ADPs being tied to the puppy ADP. Wish there was a unique player ID for BBM, I think. I get that. I don't worry about it too much because I don't really play that many BBMs. It's just not a tournament that I'm super into myself. I don't know. Maybe next year I'll play more of them, but being my first year here on Underdog, and I always tell you guys that my thing just is time, right? Like I can't draft as many teams as ideally I would like to, just because of my lifestyle and everything else that I have going on during the days. And there's just so many fun contests with a lot better advance rate structures. I'd rather play in those contests. Hey, Green Bean, thanks for stopping in, my man. You're starting to become a regular too. Nice to see you guys all in here. Let's hop over real quick, see what we want to do. We need to finish this one off, really stay on it because we like what we have going. We got unique with it. Bowers came to the 1 to the 2-3 turn. So we went Bowers and Lamar. Kind of like the sound of the number 1 quarterback, tight end, and wide receiver all on the same fantasy team. Nobody wanted to take Reed. We almost got Reed as a bring back all the way back here. One pick is going to be Higgins for a receiver. You know what? There's some guys late in the draft that I like. We're going to double tap some rookies here. Let's go Ibuka and Higgins, because when my number 1 tight end, wide receiver, and quarterback carry this team to the playoffs, we want Higgins and we want Ibuka, who both have pretty nice playoff schedules, to be ready to rock and roll for us. What's up, LOL? Good to see you in here. What's up, the gal? We're going to draft a bunch of puppies tonight, guys, at least 2. Make sure you hit the like if you haven't yet. We will for sure do 2. Thinking about if I want to do a 3rd draft or not. You guys know how it is. The more you guys hit the like button, the more it increases the chances that I'll hang around for a 3rd draft. So if you haven't, hit the like button, ring the notification bell. Although you guys know when I go live, it's the same time. Although tomorrow we will not be here. Y'all know we'll be in Vegas playing some poker. It has been way, way too long since I was at a poker table in Vegas. Needless to say, I am super pumped and ready to go. We may be a little tired when we get back, but I got it scrolling down across the bottom for you guys. We will still be on Saturday night at our normal time, and it is the first viewer appreciation night. The way it works, if you haven't heard yet, is the people who, you don't have to show up every night, but the people who show up a few nights throughout the week at least, hang out with me, draft with me, get in the chat, all that fun stuff, starting this Sunday night. And pretty much every Sunday except one particular Sunday, I got something else going on, but that's a few weeks away. Most Sundays, we'll say that we're going to hop on at our normal time. we'll probably do a puppy or something first. Let you guys all come trickling in. So say probably closer to the 10:45 time or so. Let me make this pick since I'm on the turn, and then we will get back to chatting about it. We could use another running back here. We have Higgins. I keep telling y'all I like doing that Higgins and Kirk thing. Do we want to do it here? That would open CJ up as a second quarterback to Lamar, but I'd probably have to reach for him if I wanted him. We could go with Andrews and just have a sick tight end room with Bowers and Andrews. Somebody told me tight ends can hit your flex, but we're going to go Kirk. I've talked about it before. I really like doing the Higgins Kirk thing because the Texans are going to want to pass more this year, I think. Well, hold on. Let's hold on. Let me finish my first thought. So Sunday nights, the way it's going to work is we will do a draft. You have to be present to win. So show up Sunday night. Let me know you're here in the chat. And then after the first draft, I don't know, maybe I'll find one of those little wheels or just put all the people who I want. I got a couple note cards here. I've been writing down who shows up this week and shows me love on my streams. Your names will either be in a hat or a wheel, something like that. And we will pick one person. And then I'm going to do a sprint draft because I want to start getting some more sprints in anyways. Tell you guys I'm just not super into the BBM myself. The sprint is a contest that has me very, very interested. Just, my kind of major priorities when I'm building my teams, it kind of lines up with how I think you should be building in the sprint. But anyways, once I pick the winner, I'm going to ask you to, tell me a couple guys that you're really in on in the chat, maybe a couple guys that you're just really out on in the chat. And then I'm going to do my best to draft the sprint team, not get any of the guys that you're out on, try to get some of the guys you're in on. That way it has a little of your feel to it. When it's done, I will throw your name on it. If you are one that's chosen and you don't already follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. Send me a little DM or something on Twitter, just what's up. That way I have an easy back and forth. I'll keep you updated through the season how the team's doing. If that team makes the playoffs, it's a sprint, so it's just a 3-week sprint. If it makes the playoffs, you get 50% of whatever that team makes. Just my little way of saying thanks to you guys. Best ball streams around the clock. The space is growing slowly but surely. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it, but I had a 4th of July special. There's so many regular fantasy football people who just haven't even trickled over yet, and I mean, so many people who love football and play fantasy football and will spend, a few $100s a year betting on games or something like that or whatever, or, a couple $100 in a few different fantasy leagues and stuff like that. But they don't know about it. Anyways, I had a friend of mine on for the 4th of July who's that same way. I mean, dude, I've known him what, probably like 15 years or so now, and watches football all year long. He's been playing in at least a particular league with me for 15 years. He knows what he's doing in, regular fantasy. Until I started streaming and started telling him about it, he didn't even really know what best ball was. Let's get in here and make this pick, though. We don't want to mess this team up. We have 6 receivers. We could use another quarterback. We do have Lamar, but we don't want to get like too. I don't know if I want to reach, though. Maybe we wait one more time on it. We're going to take blue because we need some more running back firepower. Since we have Devontae Smith, Oh, that's not Bowers. We're gonna take Goddard as our other tight end. We were just talking earlier about how when receivers are out, the workload just goes to somebody else. We already have Devontae Smith, so it just kind of makes sense. That gets into the sprint. I was just telling you guys that like I want to start drafting a lot more sprints, I think, because my philosophy in building is I will get stacks. I'll do the 17 bringbacks, but my priority is always my team first. And that's one thing I do really like about the best ball overlay tool is yeah, everybody memorizes the week 17 stuff, but I don't really like that's not a huge priority for me, to be honest. My priority is I want guys who, for the most part, I like at least two, if not all three, of their playoff matchups. And I like them as a player already. I think they're a good pick at their ADP. And then, like Jacobs is a perfect example, Josh Jacobs. Since the schedule came out, I've drafted very little Josh Jacobs other than maybe in the eliminator because his playoff schedule for a running back that you have to draft where he goes is horrible in my opinion. I mean, he plays, I think it's like at Denver, at Chicago, and then at home against Baltimore or something like that. I know it's the Baltimore game, but I think the other ones are at Denver and at Chicago. No, thank you. I don't want any part of what is he second? Well, now I guess he's kind of more like early third round running back to late second round running back. Sometimes you can get him right there. No, he's normally into the second. But I don't want any part of a running back going right there who's going to be playing 3 games, one against a really good defense in Denver outside that time of year, at Chicago that time of year, in Green Bay that time of year against the Ravens. I don't want it. I don't want any parts of that. I think once camp gets going, they'll start feeling a little quicker. It may take a few minutes, but that'll kind of work with, my whole little viewer thing that I'm going to do. It'll give us time to kind of work it out in the chat because I really want to get, 3, 4, 5 guys that particular viewer is really in on, and 4 or 5 guys that they just, if they have a few guys that they just really do not like, don't want any part of, that way the team kind of has a little bit of their, feel to it. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think in the comment section. Is it a keeper? Is that a good idea? I'm always trying to think of different things. I do really appreciate everyone. You guys have made this streaming journey a blast so far. I thought I would enjoy it. I'm finding that I enjoy it way more than I originally thought that I would. We got pushed out big time at quarterback. There was a couple that we were hoping would come back, but we just got completely pushed out. I think I'm going to hold on one more time, though. I don't want 3 tight ends. Let's see. Who's out there at running back? Let's go ahead and grab Will Shipley. We don't really want to do Roshan. So we already got Smith. I don't really like doing that. We'll go with Rico. We were hoping that, where did Gino go? I was hoping Gino would come back to me since I had Bowers. He went to the Josh Allen drafter. Did he have, didn't even have anybody with him, just decided that he really, really, really needed 3 QBs on a Josh Allen team. 190s. We have one backup plan that hasn't came to fruition yet. I think it's gonna work out. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. It's going all right, Steve. We're gonna have to do something tricky here to give Lamar some help at QB. We went from the one hole and we tried something different. Bowers came back all the way to the 2-3 turn. So we did Bowers and Lamar with Chase. And then we got boxed out at quarterback for our QB2. I have one last backup plan in mind. We'll see if we can get it to work. Not Candyman sprint lobby's dead as ever. I think I was 3 hours waiting for 4. I've auto drafted more than one of these. Had 2 other auto drafters in today. We'll see. And if for some reason I get in the sprint this Sunday for the viewer thing and we wait more than 5 or 10 minutes or so, I'll make it a BBM. But I think as we get closer and closer to camp, maybe the sprints will start feeling more. I don't know, Steve. You'd probably be a better person than me to know that about contests. Are we gonna get sprints to start feeling a little bit quicker now that we're getting closer to camp? Sprint lobby should be very live early September when the whales see the overlay. Oh yeah, I'm sure they will then. We like the team though. As long as we can make this one last ditch backup effort work, then I'm liking the team. It's going to be at the 16, 17 turn, so whatever. We have Lamar, running back room of Swift, Pacheco, Scatterboo, Jaden Blue, Will Shipley, Rico Dowdle. Really, really like those 6, especially considering I waited till Swift to start. I think it still turned out pretty good. Jamar Chase, Pickens, Devontae Smith, Higgins, Ibuka, and Christian Kirk at receiver, Brock Bowers, and Dallas Goddard holding down the tight end room. I think we're going to get it to work out, boys. It's kind of gross, but we're going to double tap AR and Daniel Jones here. See, can't say I don't ever take 3 QPs on a Lamar team. But we got boxed out a lot, so we just want to make sure that we have a QB2. This way, no matter which one of those yahoos end up playing at what point for Indy, we have the QB2. Kind of saves what I thought was a really, really good team that was about to just get totally destroyed because it didn't have any type of QB2 whatsoever. Maybe we could have got by with just one QB, but I don't really want to do that, especially with a team that I really like the rest of the way the build went. But now we feel good about it. We got it to work out. Both of them, even Daniel Jones, has a little bit of rushing upside. If AR is in there, we know what he can do with his legs. It's kind of it's kind of a putting the condom on the team, so to speak. But hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Love Lamar and Goddard. Lamar and Joe Burrow are probably the coolest quarterbacks in the NFL. Just extremely cool and arm talent off the charts. I would agree. Lamar is my guy this year, though. You guys know that we won a lot. We want to get our percentages way up there on him. I'm gonna save y'all the spiel. I go through it just about every night, so we'll save it. Y'all know how I feel about it. We will draft another puppy as soon as this one is over. If anybody wants to hop in it with me, at least one more. We'll see how it's going after that. Let me look at one thing real quick here. If you didn't smash the like on your way in, we would appreciate it if you smash the like. It helps us out a lot. Y'all get those likes up. Maybe we'll draft a third one tonight. We'll stay up late with you guys. Gotta wake up a little earlier than I normally do, but it's all right. We'll be running off pure adrenaline all weekend at the poker table, making it happen, hopefully. Got me a couple nice tournaments scoped out that we want to play in. Try to keep you guys updated on X. By the way, if you don't follow me on X, follow me over there. I always give you guys a heads up when I'm going live. Sometimes I'll retweet other things I find interesting. It's just at JT Best Ball over there as well. I don't really know what I want to do with the end of this team. I kind of feel like I can go best player available. I mean, I feel like my running back room is good enough that I can kind of just, okay, we got Chase. So, like, if Brooks is there, we can do that. Keenan Allen just went. We could lean into the low owned bring back thing and do Savion. There's probably not any other wide receivers that I'm going to want any part of. Brooks went. We got Abuka. We got Kirk Higgins, Devontae Smith. We were okay letting it run out on Brooks. We'll go with the other running back. I just felt like Brooks gives me more upside. I feel like, going back to the injury thing, we already have a little Cincinnati stuff with Jamar Chase. I just feel like my receiver room is good enough. We have the two Houston guys. I started to talk about it earlier and then I got sidetracked. I'm finding I really like sometimes, even without CJ doing this Higgins and Kirk thing. I mean, what are we paying? Pick 90 something and 120 something. That's not bad at all. Basically 100 and 120, if you average out the pick or whatever. And I feel like you're almost guaranteeing yourself, if everybody's healthy, you're almost guaranteeing that you have a usable wide receiver from the Texans because I feel like most weeks that offense is going to have two usable wide receivers. Obviously, Nico is the one, and he's always going to probably have a usable game, if not a really good game, which, if everybody's healthy, the other two guys is going to be running a lot of routes, Higgins and Kirk. So they can kind of ping pong. One week, it might be the rookie. One week it might be all reliable. I don't know. I'm not as out on Kirk as a lot of people are. I've heard some really good things from, like, call them insiders. The Texans have these two guys that used to work for the local radio stations there, and they have little YouTube channels. And old original Texan himself, Seth Payne. You guys remember Seth Payne, the defensive tackle from the Jaguars, and then he went over to the Texans as part of their expansion when they got expanded. Anyways, he still lives in Houston. He works for the radio down there, but he also has his own little YouTube channel. And obviously, he knows people in the building and stuff. And so I like listening to him from time to time. And there's a lot of people who are in the know down there. Let's just say that's seemed pretty confident in Kirk being able to run like a lot of the same stuff that like Tank Dell was running, just as far as the offense it goes, the stuff Tank was running out of the slot. You guys know I'm good for that about once a night. I gotta learn to stop doing that. I gotta learn to stop doing that. That button always gets me because I'll be on this screen and I think I'm over here on the underdog screen and I'm trying to back out of that to go into the draft and start another one. And I end up clicking out of StreamYard. We are still a rookie. We're not to week 17 yet. We're not performing at our best. I almost took Savion. We ended up going with the running back because I just felt like my receiver room was good enough. I don't usually need it, but thanks for the reminder. Appreciate that. What exposure percentages are you shooting for with Lamar, JT? I don't know. We'll see. Let me see for a couple weeks. So let's look at it real quick. I have a couple. I'm trying to get my slow drafts down actually right this second. Normally, I would have already jumped in some more because I normally have like anywhere from 10 to 15 going. But being that I'm gonna be in Vegas this weekend, I had a few that was about to expire, be done. And I was like, you know what? I'm not entering any more slows until I get back. But I think a couple of these, that one I have Lamar and Hurts. So he's gonna get added a little bit more to my percentages, is what I'm getting at. Maybe only that one left now. Caleb on that team. There's another Lamar team. So whatever our percentages look like in just a second. Right now we're up to 16%, 16.5% Lamar. I would like it. I want to be in the 20 range somewhere in between 20 and 30. I mean, I'm not going to go, I think, insane and get over 30% Lamar because I would have to literally like click him almost nonstop for a week or so until camp starts. Every team that I draft, there's probably a good chance, honestly, other than when I'm at the very back end, is because I'm trying to get Lamar with a lot of different, combinations and stuff. Like that's one reason why when I had that one hole there, that's one reason I took him just now, is because I don't have him with Chase. Basically, I want Lamar with every first round player that I like a couple times. And until I get a few teams with every first round player that I like, that also has Lamar on it, I'm not going to slow down. By that point, I'll probably be, I would think, in the mid 20s. And then we'll just, kind of pick and choose. Like, let's go 24 to 28%. Somewhere in that range, I think would be good to where, because he is a third round pick, right? I want to be a little bit responsible. I don't want to have, say, 35% Lamar. It sounds great, but injuries do happen. He is a running quarterback and should have even, let's say, 4 or 5 week injury happen to Lamar, especially the way I build my Lamar teams with just one other quarterback, oftentimes a later ish quarterback, then like that's just gonna handcuff my whole season, right? There's gonna be tomorrow night, Who Hames. That's why we drafting some puppies tonight. I fly out in the morning. Got to get some puppies in before we go play some poker. Good to see you stop by though. But anyways, I just think that even as much as I love Lamar, it would be just not a smart idea to get over 30%. And then if something was to, there's no doubt in my mind about the performance, but just that injury, fact, like Candyman was talking about it on his channel the other night, how he had like 30 something percent Nico, I think it was last year, and that's kind of got him holding off some on his percentages. Some of his highest guys are only like in the 20s or whatever, because like, when Nico was out those 5 or 6 games as a, what was he last year, early second round pick or whatever, it just, it really hurts you a lot. And so I think, to answer your question, P, 20, when it's all said and done, if I'm at 24 to 28% Lamar, I'll feel good. Hopefully he's healthy all year and doing what I know he's going to do, and I'll love those teams. And my percentage, though, will go from that 16 up into the 20 somethings pretty quick, I think, because like we just talked about, I'm on a mission right now to get in with every first round player that I like a lot as a first round player, at least on a couple different teams. That's why we did what we did just now. We didn't even, let's see. I forget if I really called out the team at the end. So we'll look over it one more time. Then we're going to jump in another puppy if anybody wants to draft it. We went Lamar. We had to get Gross at quarterback because we kept getting boxed out. So we just took both Indy guys, said, whatever, we got a QB2. It's whoever is running at quarterback for Indy. Swift, Pacheco, Scatterboo, Jaden Blue, Shipley, Rico, Brooks, 3 running backs early that I really like their production of. I think Blue will be a nice spike week guy if they don't add anybody. And then we just took 3 guys later, contingency type plays. Maybe we should have went with another receiver there, but I just wanted to do Brooks since I kind of had Chase, had the Cincy thing going. Was debating between him and Savion as a bring back for Lamar. Jamar Chase, Pickens, Devontae Smith, Higgins, Kirk, Ibuka. Light on volume at receiver, but Chase, Pickens, Devontae, they're gonna carry the room. Bowers and Goddard at the tight end position. That was the first time that we have taken Lamar with Chase. Let's get in another one. Who wants to draft some puppies with me tonight? At 10:54, we are going to enter it. 10:54 on the dot, we will enter a puppy and try to get some more Lamar. Possibly. There it goes. We are jumping in it. 4 spots left. So if you guys want to hop in, I try to stay under 25%. It's all about risk tolerance. Yeah. And it might get down there. I don't know. We'll see. I'm okay with certain players, like, yes, there is definitely a risk. I said that I wanted it, 24 to 28. Someone asked me in the chat what my, final percentage was. I definitely won't be over 30% or even at 30%, I don't think. I'm not saying it won't get there. Maybe like a week and a half to 2 weeks from now, Lamar is at 30% or something because of what I'm doing right now. I'm purposely going through, using the little combo tool thing, and I'm trying to make sure that I get Lamar on. I want Lamar paired with all the different first round guys that I like. I want him paired with Chase. I want him paired with CD a few times. Actually, right now, when I draft in the back half of the board, that'd probably be the one time that I'd be a little less likely to take him, because I'm sure I already have him a lot with, like, the Nikos and the Pukas of the world. We have everybody in here. This is going to be a fun one, guys. See, Steve is back to his 101 magic. We'll let him have it this time. Mark's right ahead of me in the 7th spot. We have LOL in the 9th spot. Green Bean sitting in the 11th spot. If I didn't call you out and you're in here, let me know. Y'all know Steve loves those 101s. We had it in the last draft, so we can't complain though. Pretty happy with 16.9% Hampton. Calhoun is in here also in the 3 spot. I just didn't recognize that name. Sorry about that, buddy. I'm gonna write you down real quick. I've been trying to write some of the people down that have different underdog names that are completely different than their YouTube names. I want to remember you guys. Do we want to go Puka, Neighbors? We're already at 14% Puka. Let's go with Neighbors this time. Quite a bit more Puka than Neighbors, or a good amount more. Like, see, I bet if I look in a second with Neighbors, yeah, I have 12% Neighbors and Lamar together. I figured that would be the case. That's what I was saying before, that the back end of the board right now, I'd probably be a little less likely to just smash Lamar every time. It's really that middle and front part of the board that I really want to start getting Lamar with a lot of different combinations. I know I'm passing up, great wide receivers or maybe potentially a running back in the 3rd round to do it. Technically, Josh Allen goes ahead of Lamar still ADP wise. I realize that, but I just took Bowers on the last team. You know what? Knowing their ADPs, I'm going to go Taylor here. JT's a guy I want to slow down a little bit on because his percentage is going up there, getting up there. Yes, I thought memory served me right. That's why I did it, because I did not have any teams that have Malik Neighbors and Jonathan Taylor together. So we wanted to do something a little different. That's kind of our flavor right now. We're trying to really take advantage of, we paid for the little best ball overlay tool, which is a great tool, by the way. If you don't use it, I'd recommend at least thinking about it if you draft a whole lot of best ball teams. The more I play around with it and some of the stuff that it can do and tell you, the more I really like it. I think it's pretty dang useful. So we're trying to take advantage of it right now, before we get here into late July and early August and ADPs really start shifting around a lot and stuff. Right now, everything's kind of stagnant, but we're just trying to get some fun combinations of players we don't have already together. Steve in the 1 hole went with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Josh Jacobs. Our friend in the 3 hole started Bijan, Rashee Rice, Marvin Harrison. Mark in the 7 hole with his CMC lad start. Mark is really, really in on CMC this year. I know one receiver that's on the board that's not going to be there when Mark drafts. Oh, never mind. He just went anyways. Well, you know what? I lied. I don't love anybody else on the board, even though we have Lamar with Neighbors. If I don't have Neighbors and JT together, then I definitely don't have Lamar, JT, and Neighbors together. So why not? We'll do that fun combination. I really didn't want to take him this particular draft, but I'm not super in on Terry. I take Terry like when I'm right here on the turn and I feel pretty confident that I can get Daniels with him. I don't really want McLaurin if I'm not going to get Daniels, and the A spot sometimes is kind of hard to get Daniels to come back there in the fourth. Hampton at pick 35. Williams was saying that he's glad he has a high percent. I think 16% he said. I think mine is pretty decent. I hope so. Let me look. I haven't looked yet today with the news. I'm not quite as high as you as Hampton is who is, but we have 11.5% Hampton. Excuse me. We have 11.5%, so we're over the field at least. Until everybody knows for sure that Najee's eye injury isn't debilitating to the point that he's not going to be able to play football. You know what? I hate paying the Kittle price over here now on the right side of the board. I loved him so much better over there on that side of the board. But I also don't really love anything else that's out there right now. Let's just make it an even start, boys. 1-1-1-1. Lamar, JT, Kittle, and Neighbors. You guys know my strategy. I take whoever I think is, for the most part, the best click in each round. And at least, through the first five, of course. After we get past about round 5, that's when I really start kind of playing roster constructions and stuff like that. Just kind of naturally mixes up my teams that way too, I'm finding. Nice, Who Hames, nice. Hey, what did you think about that draft today? I didn't really get a chance to watch it, but I saw you were streaming the one team draft thing where it's like I saw the team though. The team was nice. I think you did a really good job with it. I know we were talking a little bit last night after we got off air or whatever. Um, and you kind of was telling me that was your plan or whatever. And I think you pulled it off pretty well, man. I like that team a lot. I ran 3 drafts last night. Didn't get the 101 myself. Haha, it seems uncanny when I jump in another person's stream. Steve does tend to pull a lot of 101s. But then again, Steve drafts from like 7 a.m. in the morning till late with us on the nightcap most nights. So he's bound to get his fair share of them. Cook and JMO at the 4-5 turn. Nothing wrong with that. Need to start thinking about what we want to do with this pick coming up. Try to keep my plans a little quiet because we got some swipers in the room. Pickens goes. Guess we can turn this thing off for now. I don't really care about the combos once we get past those first 1 or 2 round, 3 round players. Mixon went. Mark's on the clock. Let's see what he does. He goes Hunter. We'll go ahead and take the stack. Put Flowers with Lamar. Just makes sense when he's there at ADP, pretty much. I like Calvin Ridley a lot too. That's a good pick, LOL. I like what LOL is doing over there. He's got a nice little team working. Super strong wide receiver room. Puka, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, and Ridley with Achane as an anchor running back. Nothing at all wrong with that. Green Bean started with BTJ. Henry said, "You guys aren't getting Hampton. I'm taking him." Ted and Debo. What do you guys think here in 6 days or so when camp starts up? What is Debo going to look like? Is he coming back to camp in a little bit better shape? Or are we getting fat Debo like we had in OTAs at the start of camp? I'm curious to see myself. I think I want to go. Let's go Addison. League neighbors, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, with Kittle and JT holding down a running back room. Lamar Jackson at at quarterback. I enjoyed it. The SPS crowd was all over on X. Had almost 200 watching there. Oh, wow. It's pretty insane. Good deal, man. Good deal. There's a lot more to the contest. I thought I liked some extra elements. I need to look into it. He had that the same guy that I'm assuming the same guy that gave you the draft or whatever. He gave me one to try too, to try it out. I just haven't got around to really digging into the format and stuff, and haven't done mine yet. Oh, excuse me. Maybe next week we'll try to hit that one up. Try it out. Steve goes with Caleb Johnson. A lot of you guys are in on Caleb. If I get a little bit of downtime at the airport, I'm gonna go back and do some work on Caleb. Make sure there's nothing I'm just missing, because I don't know. There's a lot of really smart people that are really in on Caleb, and I've been out on him. And I'm fine if I do my work again on him and I just decide he's not a player I'm into and a player I like. Hey, we all have our people, right? We can't. All of us won't be right about everything. All of us won't be wrong about everything either. But when a lot of people that I think are really smart at this stuff, in Steve's case, I mean, his track record kind of speaks for itself. Are all kind of really in on a guy, it does make me kind of like just, do I need to go back and just kind of check on some stuff, make sure? You know what? I don't love the receivers here, nor I don't really want to do Pollard. I don't take a lot of Laporta, but we're going to take the little bit of a discount. and just do a really strong tight end two tight end room with Kittle and Laporta. We should be able to have some hella nice weeks between the two. Frees us up for some extra picks along the way. Maybe a lot of extra picks because oftentimes with Lamar, we end up doing just two quarterbacks. We'll see how it works out. Didn't want to force anything. So we figured we'd just play it that way. Do we want to go Jones or Pittman? You know what? We took Addison already, so let's get Aaron Jones. Kind of flows well with the Addison pick. Minnesota, Detroit play each other week 17. Minnesota and Neighbors play each other week 16. I'm still not in on Caleb, but I'm going to get 4 to 6% of him. Yeah, I mean, even if I do some work on him tomorrow at the airport and I decide like I was missing a little something, that would be what it goes. Right now, I think I probably have 0 or maybe very, very little, but it would just be okay. He goes from a guy that I'm okay being a 0 on to, well, maybe I should mix him in a little bit. Takedowns, man. Downs is good at his ADP. What's up, Alex? Thanks for stopping in. I like Downs. I don't have anything against Downs. I just thought Laporta a few picks past ADP was a better click, or at least right there. That's what I wanted to do with this particular team. We had Neighbors and Flowers and Addison, and we knew taking Laporta that we already had Kittle, so that's instantly just a 2 tight end team for sure, which will give us some extra picks to work with later if we need to make up something at receiver. Just the way we wanted to play at this particular time. Appreciate you stopping by, though, Alex. Hit the like if you didn't do it already on your way in. It's greatly appreciated. I think we're going to reach down and get Shaheed. Shaheed makes a nice little fourth receiver. I was thinking about doing a couple different things, but ended up just going with him. Travis Etienne for LOL in the 9 hole. Tennessee. 10 hole took Justin Fields. We thought about taking Fields right there, but it's like we didn't really want to just push it. We felt like Shaheed was a better pick for us in this particular team. We have Lamar, so you guys know me. I'm never in a rush to grab my second quarterback unless it just makes like a whole lot of sense. Where's Najee been going today in drafts since the news broke? Somebody enlighten me. Drake May just went. There's not really a lot I like here. You know what? He's going to probably be unstacked. But we're going to go ahead and grab Dak as our second quarterback. I didn't like anything else on the board, and I really didn't want to get boxed out like I did last time. Didn't really want to do Najee. Wasn't going to do Najee. Didn't really want to do JK right there. Didn't love any of the receivers that were on the board right there. And we already have our two tight ends. I talked about it last week, you know. Steve is actually the one who got me kind of more open to just, you know what, if they're a really good quarterback, you get no matter whatever, an at price value, even better when they are past ADP. In this case, it was pretty much right at ADP. Look, if I would have had to either reach for McCarthy if I wanted to get him with Addison. I knew that. I knew I looked a little bit ago that the JJ drafter over there, our friend, or no, that's not our friend, but the guy in the 4 hole, I didn't think that he would pass on JJ at the 10 and in the 11th. Goff, Herbert, all the quarterbacks are starting to go off the board. By the time it got back around to me, yeah, I could have went with Love. I could have went with Lawrence, but I thought there might be some running backs that came back to this part of the board that I liked. Whereas I did not like any of the running backs or receivers that were there just then. I think we might go Spears here. We'll go ahead and click him. Let's go Spears. He's our third. He's a guy that'll be out there. JT's going to be our anchor on this team. We'd like to mix in one more guy who kind of has a role, or a guy we feel like has a role. And then that would give us 3 behind JT that have a role and aren't just, you know, needing an injury to be a useful player. Although with any backup running back, there's always that upside if the injury was to happen. Let's see, what do we want to do here? What came back to us? Not any of the stuff that we was hoping would come back to us. You know what? Let's take a spike week guy. I think we're gonna go take a little bit of a discount on Mims. I don't take him a lot. I only have 1% of him. But he's fallen a little bit. We'll grab the discount. through 12, we're looking at a 2-3-5-2. Lamar and Dak holding down the QB room. Taylor, Jones, and Spears at running back. Malik Neighbors, Flowers, Addison, Shaheed, and Mims at wide receiver. Kittle and Laporta at tight end. Let's look at some of our friends while we wait. Last few picks for Steve. We talked about his Johnson pick. Then he went Myers, Nix, Evans, Burden, and Goff. What's Mark been up to over there? Took Caleb with, I thought he had, DJ Moore, Jaden Blue, Ramondre, Pacheco with CMC. LOL. What's he been up to? Jaden Reed, ETN, Drake May, Jordan Love, Dallas Goedert. It's coming back around to us, so let's start looking what we want to do. Done at quarterback, done at tight end. Just keep seeing what's going on in the receivers and running backs. Just keep adding to depth behind what we have up top at those two positions. I love building with Lamar 2 quarterback and 2 tight end teams, as long as your second guy is somebody that you feel pretty decent about. Could we go Jalen Wright? You know what? We haven't taken our boy Leggett in a while. Well, I was going to get him, but I couldn't get him in quick enough. That's all right. We had Jalen Wright. There's actually Leggett wouldn't be a good pick, I don't think, for this team. I think this team needs some just later round steady eddies on it. We have Neighbors, Flowers up top. Addison, he might miss a game or two or whatever. They're saying no more than 3, but he's a stud when he's in there. Rashid Shaheed and Mims, I think of them both as kind of just like, spike week guys. Obviously, I like Shaheed better. I have like 13% of him. I only have 1% of Mims. But they're not guys that we're counting on to really hit our lineup all the time or anything. They're more of your classic spike week guy. This team could really use an Adam Thielen. He'll kind of help balance it out. He'll be a good 4th receiver sometimes when Shaheed and Mims isn't doing anything. But I started to talk about it a minute ago. I really love doing teams like with the Dak and Lamar, or with Lamar, I try not to. Last draft we had to get gross, but most of the time I try to get no worse than, like, say, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, CJ, maybe Penix or Geno if I have, like, Bowers or London, something like that. Because then I love keeping it at 2. In this particular case, having like a Kittle and Laporta, I feel like I'm getting a super strong tight end room. Most weeks I can count on getting a really nice score between the 2 of those guys. So at receiver and running back, we could end up with what, like a 7-7 or, a 6-8 or whatever. So we're going to have plenty depth when it's all said and done at the running back and wide receiver spots. Let's catch up on chat a little bit while we're waiting for it to come back. Yeah, and not the Chase Brown team either. I've been taking Caleb on the word of others. He looks slow to build speed, needs a clear runway. Not impressed, but he's a favorite of a lot of sharps, so I click him. I knew I liked you, Dirty P. If some of y'all know, that is my biggest thing that I have said about Caleb Johnson and why I've been out on him, because when I watch his tape at Iowa, Iowa has an amazing run scheme. They always have just a big old massive offensive line. And so much of Caleb Johnson's tape, when you watch it, it's not this, eye popping athleticism. It's not a guy, in my opinion, with a good short area burst. It's a guy who played with an offensive line who opened big ass holes for him for the most part. And he takes a few steps to really get up to speed. He has decent speed for his size once he gets up to speed. But my knock or my issue with him, I think, is he might have a hard time in the NFL finding room to get up to that speed. We need another receiver here. I don't see anything else we like. I think we want to do it this way. Let's go with D-Hop, because the next time there's going to be some running backs that we like that are starting to pop up or starting to get to ADP. But yes, that is exactly my knock on Caleb Johnson also. And I am just not for sure that in the NFL he has enough short area quickness, first two-step get up and go quickness and speed to just really be a real good pick or a real good running back. Like I could see him having a role, that true short yardage guy, goal line guy. Which sure, if Pittsburgh's down in the red zone a whole lot and they're scoring a lot of touchdowns this year, then yeah, he could definitely be a smash pick still. But is that really what we think that Pittsburgh will be? They play really, really slow. Rodgers always plays at just one of, the absolute slowest paces. Do we want to go Jarquez Hunter, or do we want to get the bring back? I know from looking earlier, I have a lot of Lloyd with Lamar just because it is an easy bring back. So let's not force it this time. Let's go with Hunter. Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones and Spears, Wright and Jarquez Hunter. One more running back for sure. I'm debating on the last one if this team is going to be a 6-8 or an 8-6 or a 7-7. I think I'll probably take, I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what comes back to us. Shh, there's snakes in the room. I think with Caleb, he needs the right landing spot. I think Pittsburgh is one of the best schemes. Also, I believe the workhorse role is wide open for him in Pittsburgh. Caleb has a Henry running style. Hope he's more Henry-like than I believe. That's the beauty of this, right, guys? I say it all the time. That's what makes this so fun. That is why we are all so hooked. That is why none of us touch grass all summer long. Because we really just don't know. We're trying to piece things together and come up with this, come up with that. Let's go Brooks. Or could we go Keaton Mitchell? Let's go Keaton Mitchell. I didn't get him in quick enough. Oh well, no worries. We already have two Ravens with Lamar. If Lamar's not throwing the ball, we want Lamar running the ball anyways. 2672. Think we will do another draft tonight, guys. If for some reason you forgot, you know what to do. Hit the like for me. We'll draft one more puppy before we call it a night. We'll be gone for a couple days, getting our poker fix in. There's a couple nice World Series of poker tournaments I'm gonna be playing in. They're not like, the big ones. They're not like bracelet events. One of them's like a $200 buy-in. The other one's like 250. But I was doing a little bit of digging, research, like over the past couple weeks, and they seem like really nice tournaments that average anywhere from 400 to 600 entrants. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know what? I was just telling Who Hames that I want to start adding in a little Woody Marks as an 18th round pick. And I think we decided we wanted to go with the 7-7 build. That's the team. Lamar Jackson, Dak Prescott, JT holding down the RB room up top with Aaron Jones, Spears, Wright, Hunter, Brooks, and Woody Marks all behind him. A lot of the back end is, contingent plays. Maybe Hunter has a week here or there without an injury. Wright could definitely earn a role even with Achane healthy. But I still feel like with Jones and Spears, we have enough early season between those two to get some usable scores for our RB2. We know what we're getting with JT. Receiver room, Neighbors, Flowers, Addison, Shaheed, Mims, Adam Thielen, D Hop. Said that's what we were going to kind of do. D Hop, I just like with Lamar. I don't think he's dust. I could be wrong. I think it was more of a knee injury than him being dust last year. He's not a guy that ever really just relied on speed or anything like that. Playing in that offense with Lamar, it's a bet I'm willing to make where he goes in the draft. George Kittle and Laporta holding down the tight end room. We like that puppy a lot. We like it a whole lot. Week 8 buys is killing me. Let's look at it. Rogers hated rookie wide receivers. Let's do an eliminator. I'm gonna hold off tonight on the eliminator green bean. Whenever I get back in town, I'll be doing more eliminators. I want to wait until camp gets going to really get more into the eliminators. I have about 38, 40, 39, somewhere right in there right now. I'm gonna draft one more puppy though here in a minute. I want to make sure I get a lot of puppies in, and so I want to get off to a good start tonight. I'll be gone for 2 days. The way his sucker's feeling, it could easily be up to 25-30% filled by the time that I get back. What team number were you in here again, Leo? I was gonna look at your team, but I forgot. Were you the guy over in the 3 hole? Let's see, week 8 buys. No, that wasn't you. I don't know. I'm sorry, Leo. I forgot your team name, buddy. If you want to tell me real quick. We can look at it. But yeah, once we get back, we will definitely be still drafting eliminators as the summer goes on. See if we missed any comments. Then we'll hop in another puppy if you guys want to run one more. Doesn't look like we really missed anything. Good night, all. Good luck. Thanks for stopping by, Jason. I just recently started doing eliminators the other day. Got 18 so far. I'm pretty far behind, but might be my new favorite format, to be honest. I love the eliminator, you know. Uh Here, we'll go. Let's go look at some of my eliminator percentages real quick. See what I've been working with. I have 38 of them. I'm not gonna max it. I mean, again, I say it all the time. With me, it's just a time thing. I only have so much time that I can get these drafts in. My goal for the eliminator is somewhere in the 70 to probably 90 range. Let's say that somewhere in there. I'm gonna start hitting it heavy once camp starts, though. I got me 38 of them in before camp. That's not what I wanted to do. Highest owned running back in the eliminator is Judkins. Quarterbacks, surprise, surprise, Lamar Jackson. Now, Anthony Richardson being my third highest quarterback. Remember though, like I drafted a lot of these eliminators fairly early. I could probably here, hold on, let me. Like these were all slow drafts I did right when the contest opened. And then I drafted a bunch, all in early June, 6-9, 6-16. So you can see I really haven't drafted since since about June 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've only drafted about 7 since June 9th. So that's one reason why my AR exposure right now says it's 23%. By the time I draft a lot more, that'll go down. That's the downside of drafting early, right? There's a upside to it. I was taking a decent amount of Anthony Richardson in the eliminators early. Then his shoulder injury stuff came out. That's just something that we're going to have to learn to live with. Running backs, Judkins, same thing with Bigsby. I was kind of drafting a lot of Bigsby when this thing first opened because I liked his price. And back then, there was rumor or there was rumblings about maybe ETN, kind of being the guy out. I figured, well, if that's the case, Tootin, will have his role, but Bigsby will also have a role and be the goal line back. So some of these percentages from my early eliminators, not loving. Love my Will Shipley, though, of course. Even in an eliminator, we'll take him for late season action. Joe Mixon, Scat, Kenneth Walker, wide receivers, Michael Wilson, Keenan Allen's my second highest receiver, Higgins, a lot of the same guys that I'm in on in the regular format. Mark Andrews, 31%, Ferguson, 26%, Freiermuth, 23%. Again, that was way before the Jonnu trade. Kittle, 18, Bowers, 13. So that's what we're looking at like on the eliminators. Let's go get in a puppy for anyone who is still hanging around and would like to jump in it with me. I will jump in it at 11:41 on the dot. Do one more and then we're going to call it a night. What first round player will we pair Lamar with in this puppy? So far, we've drafted him twice tonight, so that percentage is going up as we speak, like we wanted it to. I just think that's a smart thing to do, right? Like I've subscribed and paid for the best ball overlay thing. It has this awesome tool that the more I play around with, I kind of like the combination tool. You guys know that I'm just super, super in on the Ravens and Lamar. And I just was like, well, it would really be dumb, in my opinion, where he generally goes in the draft. I'm entering the draft now, by the way. 9 spots. So you guys go ahead and jump in it. Let's have one more late night draft before we call it a night. But, with Lamar, he normally goes, late third, early fourth. Well, very rarely does he go early fourth, more like 3-4 turn or late third. So with Lamar, in order to get my percentage way up, I would literally have to take him almost every time that I was back there. And then I'm just going to have him with the same 3 or 4 first round players, a lot of the same second round players. So I was just like, you know what? Whatever. I don't love a lot of the third round players, anyways, to be quite honest with you. And so I was like, well, you know what? I'm just going to start taking Lamar all over the third round. Use this player to combo tool that's the best ball overlay has, and try to make sure I get a few teams with him with JJ, a few teams with him with CeeDee Lamb, a few teams with him with everybody. I think I have to wait till I make my first pick if I remember right before it shows. Nope, there it goes. Let's oh yeah, I gotta wait till I make my first pick and then I can cycle through. We'll just turn it off for now. Any of you guys get in here with me? Let me know. Throw it up in the chat. I see LOL's in here in the 10 spot. I see him. Jamar Chase. See what the 2 hole does. CeeDee Lamb up at 2. We have 10% Bijan, only 4.8% Jefferson. Let's go with JJ. You guys know what time it is. Normally, if we hit a third draft, if we make it to a third draft, I do like to throw a little bit of music on at that point. I'll still do my deep dive too, by the way. If there's you know how it works. If there's a player anywhere in the draft, he could be a top guy, he could be a late round pick. If you want me to do some work on him, tell you what I think of him, tell you what my percentages are of him, when this video is over, when it's not live anymore, hop back in, throw his name in the comment section. It actually helps us out a lot whenever people leave comments on the video after it's done being a live stream. So it's a win-win situation. You get to hear my thoughts on a player, and it helps out the good old algorithm for me. Let's see. LOL started with 10 from the 10 with Neighbors in London. That's always a super fun combination. I'm pretty high on both of those guys myself. Oh yeah, I said we were going to turn on our thing once we made our first pick. With JJ, Of course, I have him. This is what got me really wanting to use the tool. I talked about it the other night on stream. So I hadn't been used. I'll show you guys in a minute. Let me get through these picks here real quick. We are still 0 on Bucky Irving. Now their tackle's going to start the year on the pup, it sounds like. We'll go JT. I only had him on one other JJ team. JT and Jefferson. Let's see what the turn does. Is he going to take Higgins, try to set up the really late Joe Burrow push? I'm assuming he probably will be in on that. He grabs Bucky. Josh Allen, he's doing my thing, just with Josh Allen instead of Lamar Jackson. No. Let's go T. Higgins. JT, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins. Thought about going with Wilson. Hey, you guys tell me if you think this is crazy. So another thing I'm thinking of doing like right here in this area, let's say the 3-4 spot, if I have like Jefferson, if I have Lamb, or even with Bijan for that matter, two guys, the two of the only picks early third that I'm super in on are Devontae Adams and Wilson. I say that because normally Higgins always goes at the 2-3 turn or late second. So it is really hard to get Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson on the same team. Unless, like I think I may have done it a couple times with Chase from the 1 spot. But just like I'm pulling Lamar up, I'm thinking sometimes I want to play around too with like Lamb and JJ and Bijan, those first round picks that I love right there at the 2-4 spot. Just taking both of them. Just take Wilson here, Adams there. Wilson here, see if we can't get Adams there. That way I get some teams with both of them on it. Leo is in the 11 hole. In this particular draft, that's you. Bear Die Boys. I'm probably butchering that. I'm horrible sometimes with names. Anyways, I'll try to remember it. I'll jot it down in a minute. We almost got Ted to come all the way back here. That doesn't happen often. Let's go with... let's go Worthy. I don't I don't like taking Devontae unless Hurts is still there, so there's at least a chance you can get Hurts in the fifth. Hurts went way over here. That's early for him. Says the guy who drafts Lamar at the 2-3 turn. Let's see here. Let's go Pickens because that gives us 4 wide receivers. Loving that room. JJ, Higgins, Worthy, and Pickens. With JT holding down the running back room. Not too shabby. Ah, 9 hole. Fredo. Fredo, is 1973 your birthday by chance, Leo? What are you doing over there? Puka and A.J. Brown, nothing wrong with that. Breece Hall and Hampton, absolutely nothing wrong with that either. Travis Hunter, liking the team so far. LOL did the neighbors London, did the Terry and Jaden thing, nothing wrong with that. Ridley, I like that start a lot also. Sorry about that. Let's see. What does this team need? We have the 1 running back, the 4 receivers. Hey, look at that. We lied. We're not a 0 on Caleb. We have 1.2% Caleb. You know what? Underdog wouldn't have a way of probably doing it, or maybe they will. I wish it was like either an Underdog thing or maybe even a site like this Best Ball Overlay, and you guys tell me if maybe there is something out there that can do it that I'm just unaware of. Somebody took Burrow unstacked. We thought maybe we might be able to get him. No biggie though. We wasn't like super needing it or anything. We're on the clock. I really don't want to go Judkins here though. I'm going to do it. I have too much Judkins with Justin Jefferson. That was the thing that really got me using this tool. The thing I started to say a minute ago is I wish there was a site or something, and maybe there is if I don't know about it, but there is. You guys tell me that we could plug like our, exposures in, our CSV in, and somehow it told us what our average draft position, what our ADP on a particular player is. Like Caleb, his ADP is 71. I would like to know, what is the average draft position that I draft Caleb at, or Judy at, or whoever it is. You know what? Speaking of Judy, I was thinking about actually taking him over Judkins last time. But we'll take the value on him as a 5th receiver. 7 picks or so past ADP. Sure, why not? Kind of fits the Cleveland thing we just did a minute ago, which is a little bit gross, I'll admit, but I draft a decent amount of Judy, but that's I need to find. I really didn't want to pick Judkins there because this is what I noticed a couple nights ago that really got me like, I need to use this tool more. Is I noticed I was looking through one of my old team, a team that was already like, finished drafting or whatever. Oh, well, why is it not showing them all? Hold on. Let me refresh it. Sometimes it acts weird. There we go. Now it should work. Yeah, but I noticed that I had 75%. 75% of the times that I have Justin Jefferson on a team, I have Jaden Blue and Quinshon Judkins also on the team. And that didn't make any sense to me. I'm like, it's not even like it's not even like their team stacks or, bring backs or anything. Like, I guess Dallas is a bring back in week 15. But it's like, I don't want 70, when it's all said and done, I don't want 75% of my Justin Jefferson teams to be reliant on 2 random running backs who are on different teams. So then we turn around tonight and we put Judkins on a JJ team again because we didn't like anything else there. And that's why it happens, right? We all fall into those traps. And that's why, hey, if anybody asks me, I would definitely recommend and say that the BBO tool is very useful. I mean, the stuff it does here is one thing. I like how it lays out your week 16, 15, 17 matchups. You can filter it. You can have it just show you 17 or just show you 16. But the more I play around with the combo tool, that's what I really, really am liking. Figured that guy was going to take Pat Mahomes. I think he's the Rice drafter. No worries. We can use a tight end, so we'll take the discount on Hawkinson. We'll get him past ADP. We have JJ. That makes a lot of sense from that aspect. So I think for this next pick, maybe Pittman. Do we want to go ahead and take Fields, who is another one of our dudes? Would I be okay with just that? I think we're looking good at receiver. Couldn't do it in time. Oh well. Decisions. We can probably just be done now, though, at wide receiver, honestly. Well, I don't know. We got the 3 week 10 guys. That might be pushing it a little too much. If we didn't take another receiver, we're counting on Judy, Pittman, and JJ. We have to for sure have all of them healthy just to be able to make a lineup in week 10. We could farm an extra pick, though. We could go with another tight end a little later who we like well enough, like a Ferguson or somebody like that. And then we would feel okay with 2 tight ends and just stopping at 2 tight ends with, say, a Hawkinson Ferguson type deal, which would give us a little extra pick to make sure we get enough depth at running back. We have 2 starters. We have JT holding it down, and then we have Judkins. It is going to more than likely, I would say I should make it a 3 QB team. Waiting this late to get my first QB. The solver does it, I think. Your overlay site might also. What's up, Disbanded? Good to see you dropping in here, brother. Yes, your best ball overlay site does it. You need to upload your CSV to the portfolio portion on the site. You know what? That's something else that I need to play around with. I keep telling you guys, it's just time. I'm a busy man. Way busier than I would like to be most days. I haven't even really experimented and messed with the site. I know the actual site can tell you all kind of stuff. So you're right. Yeah, I need to look at that. It probably will tell me. I know it can tell you like your closing line value and stuff like that on certain teams. I've seen Who Hames and some other people play around with it like on their stream. I just myself have not really messed with it much at all, the actual site. That, along with many other things, is one thing that I'm looking forward to. The weekend of July 26th through whatever that next weekend is, I guess about August 2nd or 3rd, something like that. That whole week, my wife and the girls, my 3 daughters, they will all be out of town. And so we will have a whole lot more free time than what we normally have. We're going to go ahead and take JJ here because he's not coming back. And now, if need be, we'll see how it works out, but I would be okay. I'd be okay just leaving it at Dak and JJ. I mean, we have JJ doubled up. To me, what makes my decision is what's going on. Like if this was a team where I just had JJ, maybe I had Aaron Jones on the team or something, or not Aaron Jones. Maybe I had like Mason on the team and then I took JJ. Then I would be more likely to like still want a third quarterback, even if it's somebody unstacked who could just give me points. But like I have JJ, right? We're not expecting him to be like a rusher. Yeah, he might run around a little bit, but we're not really we're expecting him to be more of a pocket passer than a mobile, running quarterback. So like this team winning is because he is playing really, really, really good. JJ's doing well. Probably he's dragging Addison along, which I don't have, but also dragging Hawkinson along, which I do have. I got, McCarthy double stacked. We have Dak with Pickens. So if need be, we're okay keeping this team at 2 quarterbacks. It'll just come down to, I'm not just going to take somebody gross just to force a third quarterback. If somebody I like is there, preferably a little bit past ADP, then we'll take him. Maybe. But anyways, going back to that week of, it starts around the 26th, 27th is when they leave, 26th. I think I'm going to try to do something fun. I think I'm going to do at least a few days during that week. Since, old school football, they had 2-a-day practices. I think I'm going to find a time here or there, a couple days a week, kick on a stream because I'm gonna be drafting. I'll get to draft a lot more that week than I normally do because I won't have all the other stuff going on during the day. I'll just have my own stuff going on. I won't have all my daughter's things going on. But we might hop on at like 2 o'clock and do a draft real quick. We'll still be here on the nightcap. You can bet on that one. We'll probably be on every night from the 26th through whenever they get back in town. My good friend for many years, who you guys see in my chat a lot, Mark, he will actually be in town hanging out with me those first couple days, the 26th and 27th. We're going to drag him on stream a couple times those nights. Let's see, the guy in between me, 1 tight end, 2 tight end. Kind of just like we were talking about with JJ, having him double stacked. I think I want to just go ahead and take Ferguson here. Grab the tight end. We talked about earlier with Hockenson and Ferguson, I'm okay leaving that at a 2 tight end room. And we could use a running back anyway, so we're going to throw Blue on this team also. It's tempting right here to take CJ, though. Do we want to take Blue? You know what? Let's take the discount on CJ. I changed my mind. I almost took Blue because we really do need another running back. But that was a nice discount on CJ. 147. He normally goes around 134. That gives us 3 quarterbacks. We need to start hitting running back up, though. We got to get us some depth there, but we're done at tight end with those 2. So, we'll grab one more wide receiver just to help cover those week 10 buys. And then we still have 4 more running backs to play with. So we'll end up with, what would that be, a 3, 6, 7, 2. Pretty sure that's what it's going to end up at. Dak Prescott, McCarthy, and CJ. JT and Judkins are the only running backs so far. Need to start getting some depth there. Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Worthy, Pickens, Judy, and Pittman. Tight end room, Ferguson and Hockenson. But anyways, I'll have more free time that week. So if I don't get to it before the end of the month, I definitely want to play around with a whole lot of stuff on the actual website for Best Ball Overlay. There goes Jaden Blue. I mean, I didn't think he would come all the way back. This is where, so let's talk, guys. This is where a lot of people would just instant click, I think, Noel, because they're like, oh, well, I just took CJ. I got to get him some sort of stacking partner. No, you don't. We do not have to stack every single thing. On this particular team, Adam Thielen just made so much more sense. Why? Because the whole reason I said that I wasn't okay stopping at 6 wide receivers was just because I felt like, okay, let me take a seventh wide receiver to help kind of cover that week 10 bye. But Noel doesn't have a role with the Texans unless there's an injury. So if I take him as my seventh receiver, there's still a decent chance that I'm going to end up in the same boat with those three wide receivers on the bye week and Noel not even playing. And so it's like he's not even there. At least with a guy like Adam Thielen, we know what we're getting, right? He's going to be out there running routes. Let's take Braylon Allen. Or do we want to go Rico? We'll go Braylon. But he's going to be out there running routes. So yeah, there's always an injury thing, but injuries can happen to anyone. But we don't play for injuries. We can't predict it. We don't worry about it when we draft. If a guy's healthy now, we don't worry about injuries. And someone like Thielen just made so much more sense if I'm going to take a seventh receiver on a team like this, because I need a guy that I know is going to be out there running routes to give me that fourth receiver in week 10, just to try to help the team out. You know, if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to take the seventh receiver, it needs to be a guy that I like, but then it also needs to be a guy that makes sense for the whole reason why I'm saying I should draft a seventh receiver. But I see so many times, not you guys know what you're doing. You guys, from what I've seen drafting with you, y'all know what you're doing. But y'all have seen it before too. So many times people are just so worried to, oh, well, I got to take this receiver because I got the quarterback and now I got to backstack him. Like, no, we don't. We don't have to. Like, it's nice to have stacks. Don't get me wrong. I always tell y'all my team correlation is my number one priority. But, you know, sometimes it just is nice to have a CJ Stroud 13 picks past ADP. Most of his blow up games, or a lot of his blow up games, is going to be because Nico was, you know, killing it anyways. Not necessarily what Noel is doing. I don't know. Now, though, with these last three picks, we will just essentially stay on running back. Target guys that we feel like have good roles, or not good roles. That's kind of went out the window. Target guys who could get on the field a little bit even without an injury to their starter. I'm gonna go with Smith. We took Worthy on this team, so another KC piece kind of made sense. One particular guy we would like to come back to us here. See what this guy in front of me does. He didn't take him, so we'll grab Hunter also. Makes it feel a little better. JT and Judkins. Then we have Braylon Allen, Rashard Smith, Jarquez Hunter behind them. We will add one more in round 18 when it comes back to us. The team will be at 3-6-7-2. I like the team overall. We'll see what running back we can grab at the end to finish it off with. you guys be sure to come back Sunday. Some of you guys' name is on the list of names that I have written down, who will all be in my little pool of play of viewers that I will pull one of you guys' name. And we'll see if we can. I hope we can get a sprint to fill. We might have to wait a few minutes on it just because I really want to do a sprint. I think it would be fun for the viewers' choice thing for two reasons. One, I want to start drafting some more sprints because that's a tournament I would like to have. I don't know, not a ton, but maybe like 20 to 40, somewhere in that range when it's all said and done, because I like the format. Maybe 50 even, probably not 50, but maybe like 20 to 40, 30 to 40, somewhere in there. But two, I thought it would be cool just because, you know, then you don't have to worry about, like, if we do a BBM, all right, well, if you get kicked out in round 15, you really don't even win anything. So at least this way we'd have the sweat. I'm going to write down everybody. I'll try to find y'all on Twitter or follow me on Twitter. If I draw your name Sunday, follow me on Twitter and just send me a little DM saying, hey, what's up? It's me. That way, if your sprint team makes the playoffs, you know, we can kind of talk about it as those 3 playoff weeks go on. Need to find me a new 18th round running back. That's one reason why I started drafting. You know what? Let's go with Woody Marks. We got a CJ team. Look at that. We got a stack after all. Threw Woody Marks on there. I drafted him in the last draft too, just because I wanted to start getting some different I wanted to start getting some different 18 round running backs. And I don't know, he's kind of intriguing to me. The Texans reached up a lot to get him. They really liked him. Do y'all know the dude had almost 250 receptions throughout his college career? 250 receptions for a running back. And then when you put on the tape, like, I mean, no, he's not the greatest running back just as a pure runner, a pure rusher. But like if you watch his running tape and then you remind yourself the dude had 250 receptions. I don't know. I'm gonna start taking some shots on him in the 18th round. Let's look it over one more time. Dak Prescott, JJ McCarthy, CJ Stroud, Jonathan Taylor, Judkins, Allen, Smith, Hunter, Woody Marks, JJ Higgins, Worthy, Pickens, Judy, Pittman, and Thielen. TJ Hawkinson, Ferguson is the tight end. I like the tight end room. They'll hold it down. Plenty of firepower at QB between Dak and McCarthy. I really like that I went ahead and took the discount and added CJ. Running back room up top is good. JT and Judkins. You know, we need one of these guys out of Allen or Smith to kind of end up earning a role just so we'll feel better about it. And then, of course, Hunter is just, he may have a usable week here or there, but he's more of a contingent play. If Kyron was to miss time, I think he could come in and be a smash for him. Same Woody Marks, same thing. If Mixon's hurt, I'm not saying he'll come in and be a smash. I think if Mixon got hurt, it would be a combination of maybe Chubb, at least starting out, Chubb kind of as their really short yardage, goal line-y type back. And then Woody Marks would be in there a fair amount, though. He'd be in there on the passing downs, I think. He'd be in there, you know, just for a lot of regular rushes and stuff, too. Wide receiver room is super strong. JJ Higgins, Worthy, Pickens, Judy, Pittman, and Thielen. Feel pretty good about it. The guy in the 8th hole took all the tight ends. Did he? Let's go back and look at it. I wasn't paying that close attention. Ah, that is you, my friend. Fryermuth, Schultz. Let's just go look at the team over here since we know it's you. Oh, wait, that's the 9 hole. That wasn't you. My bad. 5 tight ends. I see what you're saying. What did he do? He did a 2-5-6-5. Hurts and Burrow. That's interesting. Chase Brown, Mixon, Caleb, Eckler. Receivers are pretty decent. 5 tight ends. Really? That's what we're doing. Ingram, Warren, Loveland, Jonnu Smith, Darren Waller. Not how I would build. I kicked it off of there. Oh, well. Not how I would build my team. I've already been in and out on Marks. Maybe time to get back in. Woody looks like they're only passing down back. I think he's a more improved Ogunbowale. So we've had this dude the last couple years named Dare Ogunbowale, who you could call him a passing down back, but they really only bring him in when it's like true, like 2-minute drill and 3rd and long type situations. He's a pretty decent pass blocking back, and he can catch the ball a little bit. He didn't really have any juice though, to be honest with you. So I think, that's their plan. They went out and got the guy pretty high, right? Like a lot of people expected him to be a later round pick, and they drafted him. Let's here, let me pull it up real quick. Give me just a second. Let's go to Draft Tracker. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Where's the actual Draft Tracker? Here we go. By position, running back position. I'm going to go back and share a screen and we'll look at it. So they took him in the 4th round.
Training.
And shut off. They took him over Jarquez Hunter, Sampson, which, okay, whatever. But, there was some running backs that I really liked a lot better, like especially Giddens. They took him over Giddens. They took him over Blue. Now, this is the interesting thing is Blue, like that's his biggest thing, right? He's super, super fast, and he was an excellent receiving back in college. The Texans took Marks over him. And hey, teams, Taj Brooks, although he's not really, thought of as like a straight passing down back. The point is that teams get stuff wrong all the time. So they could very well be wrong. But they took him over those guys, so they clearly envisioned some sort of role for him. They clearly took him for a specific reason, I think. So he's a guy that I'm gonna start drafting. We talked about it yesterday, me and Who Hames, in between our drafts, that I really want to stay away from what feels easy, but I think it's gross in the end. It feels easy. And it almost feels like I'm not going to call it a cheat code, but hey, let's just load up at, receiver, running back, get our quarterbacks. We can just take 3 late tight ends starting around 16. Maybe we splurge and grab 1 in 15 and then 17, 18. And yeah, those guys all have starting roles. Those guys are all going to keep us from having a 0 at the position. But you're going to have to get really lucky. If you take this year's tight ends, at least, I mean, and I could be wrong, right? Like Jonnu, who Hames brought it up last night. Jonnu was a really late round tight end, came out of nowhere and did it. And I have some of those guys, but at the rate I was going, if I keep just using that as like a fallback, I can just get 2 or 3 tight ends really late. Well, then I'm going to get all said and done with this thing, and I'm going to end up with like 15 to 20% of a lot of those tight ends that go in rounds 16 through 18, and that just feels gross. So that's why, like you saw tonight, I was making a point to get more of like the Hawkinsons and the Kittle, and we drafted Bowers on the team, which the one we drafted Bowers on, he fell all the way to the 2-3 turn. But I kind of want to like get away from just waiting for those tight ends late, because like there's so many running backs still right now in that 17th and 18th round that like when you win with those guys, you win in a way bigger way. Like you win in a way that feels really good, not really gross for 9 points or whatever it is. I forgot what dynasty pod I heard, but they had data showing that yards per reception was a telling running back stat, and benchmark is 10. Okay. I would be interested to know what Woody Marks' yards per reception was. What was Woody Marks' yards per reception in college? Let's check it real time. Good old ChatGPT. He only had 6.8 according to ChatGPT yards per reception. But he had 200, and it was more than I thought. He had 261 receptions through his college career for 1,546 yards. I don't know. It's the 18th round, right? Why not take shots on it? Anyways, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Smash the like. If there's a guy you want me to do a deep dive on, you know the routine. Here in just a minute, whenever I end the video, hop back in, throw them in the comment section. Follow me on Twitter. I'll give you some poker updates this weekend, let you know how your boy is doing. Maybe we take down a big one. I'm just going to play some poker and have a good time. If I don't cash anything in a couple of tournaments, oh well, so be it. Y'all have a good night. We'll see you when I get back. Sunday night, we'll be on. It's viewer appreciation night. It'll be fun. See y'all then.
But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me.